Hello everybody, this is Sneaky the Lost, and welcome back to Omnifactory. Today we've got quite a lot to do. I did quite a lot between episodes, as you might could tell. I did a little bit of clear cutting. I also grew a reed farm, found some potatoes that are going to be real useful. Did a little bit of mining. A little bit of mining. There's my tin back here. And also created a little bit easier way to get back into the lower sections of some of these caverns. Yeah, here's another tetrahedrite and magnetite deposit kind of jumbled together back here. So we'll not have to worry about those resources for quite some time. Going down that way is where my silver mine is, and underneath us, going this away, is where the redstone deposit is. It's a little bit tricksy sometimes to get into. Yeah, also this is tungstenate and scheelite. That's going to be useful much later on. But as you can see, there's a lot of redstone all the way down there. You can see some of that obsidian. There used to be several waterfalls that I plugged up. You also notice that I lit this place up perhaps excessively well. Let's just say me and skeleton snipers are gonna agree to disagree to let things happen. So yeah, a little bit of gems back here in this wall, various things. Just wanted to show you what I've been doing off camera. I mean, most of this wasn't really that awesome. This is actually coming from up there, so I just kind of built this thing to contain the water spillage. As you can see, this goes all the way up to the surface. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't too exciting. I tend to be fairly conservative in my exploration practices, which takes forever, but is relatively safe. So, you know, trade-offs. Also went looking for a location for a more permanent base. My realtor did find us a property to look at. It's a bit of a fixer-upper. The upstairs neighbors are kind of noisy. The basement is an absolute wreck. The next door neighbors are pretty bad. Yeah, I built this tunnel after going back and forth several times to get us over here a little bit easier. You kind of breaks into this tunnel here. But over here, this large building is where we are going to be setting up. It's large, it is tall, it's a bit of a fixer-upper. You know, you got some a creeper-related incident, blew open some holes here and there. So this is where we're going to be setting up for our more permanent base. As you can see, I've got these guys taken care of. You can hear our upstairs neighbors, and also probably stuff in the basement. They are by no means pacified. So we will be doing that at a later point when I am not trying to actually progress, and once we've got some basic tools and equipment available to us, because right now I've been relying on my hammer as both a means of mining and as a means of combat. You may notice my pickaxe here. I've gone through several of those. I've also gone through a couple of those diamond hammers. I've only got one left besides this one in my inventory, so have definitely done a lot of off-camera work, but none of it was particularly exciting. Didn't really figure you wanted to watch me mine out tunnels until my eyes bled. So, one of the things I did find was that nickel deposit I was telling you about. It's also known as pendantalite. I think here we go. Pentlandite. There we go. Pentlandite. Words. I can use them. And so I made myself some Invar by pulverizing some iron and some nickel and making some Invar blend and then smelting that up. And we're going to be using that to upgrade our satchel. I also have some tin nuggets here. So now I have a hardened satchel, which has twice the inventory space. Also, I've been making a few components, as you can see. Just generally getting things set up for the move. You know, taking care of stuff. So, let's go ahead and get to work on some of these quests. Also, yeah, the furnaces, when last you saw them, they were copper. I went ahead and made them, pushed them all the way to gold. Eventually, I'm going to want diamond furnace. I haven't found any diamonds yet. I haven't bought them because they are extraordinarily expensive, as one might anticipate. And it just wasn't really worth it for me. Yeah, it takes only 40 ticks for these gold furnaces to smelt items, whereas the iron furnace was 150. So, definitely a significantly faster furnace, for which we are grateful. So now what we're looking at are electronic subcomponents and that steam dynamo. So that's resistors, vacuum tubes. We can make coated circuit boards. That's not a problem. So resistors are going to be copper wire, paper, and coal dust. Not charcoal, just coal dust. You want to know why I was saving my coal? This is a big reason why. And then, of course, glass tubes, some paper, some copper wire to make vacuum tubes. And as you notice, we happen to have a lot of paper, some coal dust, some glass, and some copper plates. Gee, I wonder what that could be for. It's almost like I had planned things out ahead of time. Concept here. Let's get at least one more copper plate, though. Because we're going to need at least a couple. Let's see, how many copper wires are we going to need? We're going to need 3 there and 2 there. So we're going to need 5 copper wires. So we're going to need another copper plate. Also, you'll notice I did some smelting. I've got a little bit more than a stack of tin, about a stack of copper, a couple stacks of wrought iron. Some redstone here, more redstone here. Yeah, a lot more redstone ore here. I found a deposit that was quite voluminous. A little bit risky, though. There is some active lava going on down there. So a little bit tricky, but you know, nothing too terrible. So, let's get on it and start doing this. So, to make these vacuum tubes, I'm going to need some glass panes. And then glass panes in a diamond formation, I guess. There we go. And then we're going to need that copper wire. So, there we go, vacuum tube. And resistor. And there we go with the resistor. I need a second vacuum tube, though, apparently. Yeah. That's the problem with vacuum tubes. You only make 1 each, whereas resistors are 3 each. I'm going to need a couple more of you guys. Well, we need more copper already. Fortunately, I had some. Really, I want more, but I'm just trying to get the minimum necessary to get into the next level of tech, because that's going to really help us out. Make things a lot cheaper for me once we get into low voltage machines, especially that wire mill and the blast, or well, not the blast furnace. That's how we get out of low voltage tech. There we go. And then, of course, circuit boards. We've made these several times before. We just do this and this. Oh, right. We do this to get these, then we do this and that and get these. Ding ding. Ding ding. All right. Claim that and move on. Your first circuit. Primitive circuits. Yeah, there's a reason I've got a couple of stacks of wrought iron. Also, we're going to need a ton of red alloy cable. Yeah, a lot of red alloy cable. So, what we're going to do here, something like that. Now, I thought I had more. Oh, yeah, that's right. That the rest of the red alloy went to a different project. So, let's go ahead and knock that one out real quick. And that's going to be this steam dynamo that we're going to be looking at, which needs an iron furnace, couple of copper plates, couple of wrought iron gears, redstone transmission coil, and the excitation coil. So, we've made iron furnaces before, we've made copper plates just a few minutes ago, so we know what it is involved with these. An excitation coil is 2 redstone conductance coils and 5 red alloy plates. Redstone conductance coil, 3 gold rods, 4 redstone. So, over here, I happen to have 5 red alloy plates, 6 gold rods. The conductance coil is just silver rods instead of gold. Couple of copper plates, iron furnace, and then some wrought iron rods and wrought iron plates that I'll need for the gears. Almost like I had kind of planned this out or something. Weird. So, yeah, let's go ahead and put some of this stuff up while we got a chance to, as we're going to need some space for doing this. So let's get busy. First off, we're going to need 2 of these bad boys, so we're going to need some redstone. I'm just going to go ahead and pull a whole stack down. We're probably going to need most of it by the time we're done here. There we go. 2 of those guys. 1 of those guys. Gonna need my screwdriver. Yeah, this recipe for gears, we're gonna want to get away from that as soon as we can. Fortunately, once we hit low voltage and get some tools under our belt, we can. So, we've got that. Oh, right. We need to actually make this thing. The excitation coil. Now we should be ready to go. Steam dynamo. Ding ding. Alright, now then. Steam dynamo requires water, which requires an infinite water source, which is 2 water buckets and 6 wrought iron plates. So we can temporarily do that. We will need more steam dynamos in the not too far future, but for now we're just going to limp along on 1. So 2 water buckets. Now buckets buckets are a little bit tricky in this one. There are 3 iron plates and a hammer, not just 3 ingots. But that's okay. I happen to have made a couple of buckets while I was doing some things, because we've all seen this kind of stuff before. So we just need 6 wrought iron plates. So we'll go ahead and grab our wrought iron, toss her in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And water bucket, water bucket. Bada bing, bada boom. And then we're gonna need to eventually get into pressurized fluid conduits, but not right now. Your first circuit. We need red alloy cable. We're gonna need a lot of red iron cable, actually. So how about this? There's my copper. Let's pop the copper in here. Notice how this thing is almost broken. I was trying to do a thing and it didn't quite work out the way I had planned. One of the future projects we're going to have to do is going to require a lot of sand, a lot of things, actually. But sand, gravel, clay. Those of you who are familiar with this pack already pretty much know where I'm going to go with this. There we go. Now then, some rubber. I'm getting a bunch of it because I'm gonna need more. It's just a given. So one of these, red alloy cables. Ding and ding. Claim it. Primitive circuits. What do I want to say about them? We're going to try and blow through them as fast as we can so we can get on to less bad things. They're very... how shall I say this? They're pretty expensive. Here, let's take a look at it. Primitive circuit requires 2 vacuum tubes, 2 resistors, wrought iron plate, and some red alloy cable. However, if we look at tier 1 circuit, we see that there are actually 3 tier 1 circuits: primitive, electronic, and refined. The electronic circuit definitely needs other things. Still gonna need resistors, fine copper wire, capacitors, phenolic substrate. That's that stuff I was telling you about we're gonna be getting from the coking oven, and tin, so we don't need glass anymore. These capacitors are actually not too bad. 10 alloy foil, some rubber, and some fine silver wire. And we can actually get away from the fine silver wire once we get into aluminum production. And then, of course, there's these SMD resistors and capacitors that are even better to mass produce. Just generally a much better way of making things. But that's going to have to be for later. For now, we are just going to need to make a bunch of these primitive circuits until we can bootstrap ourselves properly. So, conductive iron energy conduit. requires conduit binder and conductive iron wire. Ender IO. What do... Ender IO is kind of easy mode, although they've made it slightly less easy mode by incorporating some gregginess into it, I guess you could say. So, first off, let's make some binder composite. So, we don't need a whole lot of this binder composite to make a whole lot of stuff here. Gravel, sand. There we go. Smelt that up for me if you would, guys. Each smelting gives me 2 conduit binders. So here we go. Some of these, some of these, some of these, and we get some of these. Ding ding. Output maximum is 512. Basically forge energy, whatever you want to call it. All of the forge energies are pretty much interchangeable, so RF, micro infinities, whatever they are, they're forge energy, and I'm gonna generally refer to them as forge energy going forward, or probably RF because of force of habit. But it's all gonna be the same, and it will convert to EU at a 4-to-1 ratio. So that's actually not as much as you might think. The 512, we're gonna be hitting that cap pretty fast. But hey, it'll at least get us started. That's the important thing. So claim that reward. And now, yeah, they're going to talk about wrenches. The LVCEF and battery buffer. This is going to be interesting. Okay, here's the thing. The CEF converts forge energy into EU. The CEU does the opposite. It converts EU into forge energy. Do not confuse the two. That can get annoying. Also, what we're going to be doing here, we're going to need to start getting into amperage, because that's actually a thing. It's a different thing than it used to be with IC2, but it is still a thing, and it's going to be a fairly important thing. What do I mean by amperage? Well, in real world, your power lines are measured in voltage and amperage. And traditionally, you want to amp it up to as high a voltage as possible to minimize your energy loss over long distances. And then you need to step it back down for your household appliances. In this game, they've kind of, sort of, hand-waved a few things. But basically, amperage is how many machines it can service simultaneously, effectively. That's how they're doing it in GregTech. So on a 4 amp line, I can service four machines running simultaneously. Now I can hook more machines up to it, and as long as more than 4 of them aren't running at the same time, we're going to be good. And they will all be able to get up to 32 RF per tick with low voltage. That's actually not too shabby. So that's what we're going to start off with anyway. So the 4x conductive cable requires 2x conductor, requires 1x conductor, which is conductive wire and rubber sheets. So remember how I said we're going to be using a bunch of this rubber? Yeah, I'm not kidding here. In fact, why don't I go ahead and just make a whole sheet load of them, right? Sheet. It's a pun, guys. Yeah? Don't demonetize me, please. Oh, wait. I am not monetizing the videos anyways. Never mind. Carry on. So, we are going to want some more conductive iron. And for that, we are going to want to grind up some more iron. And then combine it with redstone. And I just broke my grinder again. Meh. Okay, now over here you may have noticed I built a drawer. I actually needed to give it an upgrade as well. I gave it a golden upgrade to store all of the cobblestone because it wouldn't fit in a normal one anymore. So we're going to go ahead and smelt up some smooth stone. Get some of this conductive iron. Oh, right. To make wires, you need plates. Oh, boy. This is going to require just a bit more than I thought I was going to need. Right, so let's go ahead and get started by grabbing some of the wrought iron and making another mortar. And there we go. Now then. There we go. Dope. Oh well, you know what? I'm probably going to need that much iron, conductive iron, anyway going forward. I'm going to need this in copious quantities anyway. Why the heck not make half a stack? And it just, you know, it seems right. So, make some more plates. Make some more cables. Make some rubberized cables. Some double cables. And some 4x conductive cables. Ding ding. Oh, right. I also need the actual CVF. So I'm going to need some bare 4x conductive wire, as well as 4 conductive iron energy conduits. An LV machine hull. Get used to this guy. We're going to be seeing a lot of him. Which is 3 wrought iron plates, 2 tin cables, and an LV machine casing. And an LV machine casing is 8 wrought iron plates around a given wrench. So, yeah. Okay, first off, wrought iron plates. Pitch these over here. LV machine hole, we'll need the 10 cables. Fortunately, I've got some 10. Just need about 4 of them. Make some 10 plates. Some tin cables. Coat them. Whew, there we go. Alright, so first off, you. Yeah, we're gonna want to remember how to make that. And then you. We're gonna want to remember how to make that as well. So 4x conductive wires. So basically what I need is 8 conductive wires, which is another half a stack of conductive coils. Hello, creeper. I see you creeping. Don't think you can hide from me. Your camouflage ain't that good. Right, so here we go. And then from here, we do that, and we do that. There we go. We've got the LV machine hole, the conductive wires. We've got 3 of these guys, but we actually kind of need 4. So here we go. Three more. So then we need this tier 1 circuit and a chest. These tier 1 circuits, get used to them. Right, so there we go. Some red alloy cable. Not the refined, the primitive circuit, silly. There. Ah, right, and the coded circuit boards. There we go. Lock that bad boy in. Primitive, but effective. Pricey, though. And, of course, a chest. And there we go. Ding and ding. Alright, so we're a little bit over the mark, but at the same time, what have we got here? We've actually gotten all the way into building our energy production, energy conversion into something we can actually use. We've done a lot of off-camera stuff, putting it all together. Steam dynamo needs fuel plus water, obviously. We will be upgrading those later on. There's a much more efficient way of setting those guys up. Once I get to that point, I will definitely be doing that. But first, we're going to want this wire mill. So we are going to need LV motors. We're going to need a couple of electric motors. Yeah. More tin cables, more copper wires. Once we get to the assemblers, it's going to be fun. Well, I still need a way of getting molten copper in there to do that, but Putting it all together. All right. So next episode, we are probably gonna move into our new home and start building our power LV structure and getting into the LV age and start getting away from using these Goraman tools as much as possible. That's going to be the wire mill and the alloy furnace are going to be two of the big things I'm going to be doing immediately. Rest of them to follow. So until then, it's the Sneaky the Lost signing off.